Hello and welcome to another preview. My name is Korak. I am the story developer for Awakening of the Rebellion, and this is the preview for one of our most ambitious features called Galactic Events. Before we dive into it, let's quickly talk about the origin of this feature. The groundwork of this was done in 2023. Polemarcus and me did threw some ideas back and forth on how to actually do this because both wanted to do something of the sort. And we created a basic script back then, but that just didn't really work well and was very work extensive to customize. So back then we decided not to use it just yet and instead focus on some other stuff before. But as we all know, a couple of months ago in October, Petroglyph released another patch for Empire at War and introduced some new script functions. And these include placing icons and text via Lua script on top of existing UI elements. And so we very quickly realized that this could make our initial idea way easier. Um, However, this was very short before our upcoming release, so we decided to keep this very limited and into a very independent system that would and instead of working it to into existing systems, so that if it wouldn't work for some reason, if it bugged out, it wouldn't affect any story content or intervention missions or any other important features of the game. But what exactly are galactic events? Galactic events are randomized events that will occur every 10 to 15 weeks. We have 9 different base events that will be modified by a randomizing script, and they have an adjustable trigger chance. So, for example, the story can tell the event script that a certain event should be fired or should have a higher chance, or just regular occurrences in the game can make events fire more likely or less likely, like, for example, winning a battle or losing a battle. All right, I want to show you what I mean exactly because this is more difficult to explain. So I set my game up so that these events would trigger directly, and here it is. This is actually one of my favorite events. So as you can see here, we have a multiple choice event prompt, and the game, as you can see here, is being paused. So you have all the time you need to read the text you get and decide what you want to do. Now, the effects of clicking those buttons are not shown to you, at least not always. So you have to decide what actually do you want to do as a political leader of your faction. Those events can have different outcomes. Um, Either a positive or a negative outcome, or some events will have a button, well, do nothing. So basically ignore what happens and nothing will happen. In this case, we have a multiple choice event. We can either distance ourselves from the Jedi, because, these war crimes are very serious, or we deny the claims and support the Jedi. If we click this button, distancing ourselves from the Jedi, the Jedi are deeply troubled by that footage. They claim the footage is fake, however, they recall one of their masters to investigate. Maze window is removed, support is increased
Mission
by
log
15 points.
updated.
Support mission system has not been initialized, but once it has been initialized, it will update not immediately, but after the next mission is completed or failed. So we're still working on tying those things better into it, but for now, this is the best solution that we can come up with. We can look at another event, even though I don't want to spoil too much here. Yeah, this is also cool because I can show you another feature that we can tie certain things into it. For example, this is hidden infrastructure. We have discovered a previously hidden base shield on Belbringi. With some investment, we can adjust it to our current needs. We can either bring the shield online for a randomized amount of credits that is loosely based on the build cost, or we can scrap it for parts. Now this is very cool because we are using the hologram function, like where we play hologram loops for certain story missions or at the side of the mission log, and we moved it to the center onto this event screen, and now we can basically show the hologram of this moving sheet generator in here. And yeah, this can have also different buildings, like we can have a shutter shield or ground turbo lasers or a medium vehicle factory. And yeah, this is pretty cool. If we scrap it for parts, we get some credits. And yeah, generate 100 of booby trap by enemies. Yeah, and here's the next mission already. So as you can already see, after you click the button, the pause feature, the pause is disabled, or so the game continues. So this is only just set up for testing to occur regularly within 15 seconds. Usually you won't have that problem of events overlapping. Yeah. Now this is another event. We have found an abandoned invincible heavy cruiser near Ariado. We could invest into repairs. However, old shipwrecks can be dangerous. This is very similar to the hidden infrastructure event, where I can invest credits or scrap it for parts. Scrapping it for parts will usually yield about half, maybe 1/3 of the build cost of the actual unit. And repairing the ship also takes about half, maybe 2/3 of the build costs, with some randomization involved. So this is actually pretty cool because you can't get some of the units that we offer here regularly. The Invincible you can get, but it's still like an Invincible for 8,600 credits. Could be good, but it could also be booby-trapped, so it explodes and you get nothing. So especially early game, the safe choice might be just to scrap it for parts. All right. This is a groundbreaking feature because it was not possible to do this before, or it was possible but very work extensive and yeah, not really usable on a larger scale. And we are also proud that it's because it is quite unique. No other mod has this kind of multiple choice event prompt. And yeah, it goes a little bit into the 4x direction. Like if you play this, you find many of those texts very similar to, for example, events from Stellaris. So we have to see how we continue using that into the future because we don't really want to go that far into the 4x direction, but so far this offers some very interesting options for the future. For example, we can include this into interventions. We can do something like offering the player to accept or decline intervention missions before they start. So, like for example, you get the chance to accept a mission or decline it, then you lose a little bit of support, but if you accept it and don't complete the mission, you lose more support value. Similarly, we can use it for certain story decisions. For example, you get an event prompt, do you want to execute Order 66? Yes or no? And that way influence the choices the player makes in the story. And another big topic here is minor faction interactions. For example, we can tie it into diplomacy. If you have watched the other video, you would have seen that you can do diplomacy with the Huts, for example. And what we could do here is, instead of just offering the one choice to negotiate a non-aggressive pact with the Huts, we can have multiple choices, like either choose a non-aggression pact or a trade agreement or whatever. And this makes it very yeah, very interesting in the future in upcoming versions, especially when we are porting all these mechanics back to Awakening of the Rebellion, where we obviously have more minor factions than just the Hutts that we have in Awakening of the Clone Wars. So yeah, that's it for Galactic events. I am personally looking forward to it, being in the mod and to hearing your feedback. Be aware that this is a very fresh feature, so it might not all work properly at the start, but we really wanted to get this into the first release so that we can, yeah, so that we can have it in the public, get the feedback, and see what people think about it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and well, we're looking forward to our release.